Okay, here we go. We're starting.
Do the clap. Woo!
All right. Hey there. Welcome to Art School Dissections, where we take pencils and scalpels to get to the bottom of the truths about art school and the art industry. My name is Maddie Gabhart, and I'm here with
Peyton Hunt.
Yeah. And if you'd like to look at our credentials, we have our socials and portfolios and all that in the description. If this is your first time joining us in our little old studio, we're a couple of art school grads who are trying to make sense of life and art after art school. So this week we're going to be talking about post-grad jobs. So what the hell happens after you graduate from art school? It's a journey.
It's a lot. They don't tell you.
No.
Yeah.
But we're good. We're gonna. Don't worry.
Yeah, we got your back.
We got you.
We've been there. Don't make our mistakes. We'll try to help you out.
Please learn.
Like the basic summary of the episode is expectations versus reality, because there's a lot of stuff that is not told to you until you are out the door and you find it out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that is pretty shocking. We're also going to be talking about just life directly after college, kind of that shift from a school brain to now you're out into the real world. So it's not only you're done with school, but now you are an adult, and you're looking for jobs, and you're figuring out who you are, and all of that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. And then kind of a deep dive into what me and Maddie looked at in terms of like jobs when we graduated versus what we ended up getting. And kind of closing out with the current being 2022-2024 job market and the cluster that is.
Not to say hellscape, but to say hellscape. It's rough out there, 100%.
Folks. 100%. Yeah.
All right. So, first thing, expectation versus reality.
Our basic.
Yeah.
I mean, for at least for CCAD in the illustration degree, not degree, but like the major and all those classes, they really shoved it down your throat, like freelancing was going to be the way you're making your money.
Yeah.
Like most of the classes where you have a client and they want you to do this, and that was your prompt, and you had to make something for them. Mm-hmm. Or the business classes were about being freelance and all of that. So my expectation was, freelance work is going to be pretty easy to come by.
Yes.
Or it's going to be
I also thought that.
Yeah, easier to find an outlet to then reach out to people and like be like, hey, I'm doing work.
Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I'm available.
Yeah.
I have the credentials. I put in the time. And I have cool stuff. Yeah. Please hire me. We were not given a Rolodex after graduation, not even like an attempt at like how to make your own Rolodex. The biggest advice I got was not cold call, but like cold email art directors from different companies. And that's really it. That's kind of like the only advice I got for freelance work, except for like the traditional job market sites like LinkedIn and Indeed and stuff. Sometimes I got scammed. Oh my god, it was heartbreaking.
I remember that.
Yeah, so excited.
Yeah, they also one of the assignments we had in one of our classes together was get 100 contacts.
Oh, that's right.
From people or industry or jobs or something that were in the industry you wanted to be in. Mm-hmm. Which you think is like, 100's a lot, but I can probably find it. No, you really had to search.
It took a long time.
We ended up, granted, our professor let us do this, but we ended up just like everyone shared the contacts they had and we all just copy and pasted each other's. Mm-hmm. But that allowed us to be like, this person wanted to go into graphic design, so they had different contacts than I would have found because that's not what I'm looking for. So now that's somewhere in my Word documents. I don't know, but it's there and I have them.
I've referenced it a couple times because I found most of the contact information on people's portfolio sites. Mm-hmm. So when I was making my own portfolio site, I wanted some reference, like that's kind of all I've used it for. Yeah. Maybe I will do the cold email, see what happens, because that did work one time for me. But that's it. It's kind of bleak.
I've gone to
until you know people,
and I've kind of clicked on a studio that I liked and went to their website and cold emailed, and then went back to their LinkedIn page and looked at the recommended and clicked one of those. And just kind of did that for an hour or two, just basically copy and pasting the same email, changing who it was addressed to, but having the same kind of here is my specialized portfolio for what I want to do that is related to what you guys do. Most of them weren't hiring at the time, so I'd be like, I know you're not hiring, but I just want you to be able to have my stuff on file because I like the work you do and I want to be a part of it. Thank you. Have a great day. I look forward to hearing from you. And then moving on and doing that another 30 times. Have I heard anything? No, but
they have the information, hopefully.
Yeah, and there are the wonder stories where, a year or two later, they're like, we want you, and off you go, and your career has started.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really the starting of it all that has been so difficult. Because there's no right way to do it, I guess. But I kind of wish we were given maybe a skeleton crew of this is what you could do.
Yeah.
Just a few different options.
Here are some things.
Here's something.
Here's a little list.
Yeah. So the expectation versus reality, in summary, is the expectation was that, yeah, we're good at what we do. We're going to get jobs pretty easy. The reality is, even if you are a stellar star, it's hard. It's really hard. And it's more about who you know and how you can connect with those people and facilitate those relationships and get them to recommend you to other people who that's word of mouth is the best marketing. But seriously, I didn't believe it, but it's true.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was beginning of junior year. I was talking to somebody who was telling me about some alumni that made it into the field that I want to be in. And I was like, how did they do that? The story was they knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody who they had a chance meeting with and were like, oh, I'll pass your portfolio along to them, and they'll pass it along to them. And then they got into Lucasfilm.
Beautiful.
Or another guy, a guest speaker came on for one of their classes, and he decided to stay back and talk with him and show his work off and just be like, this is the work I have, this is the work I want to do. And the guy was like, hey, I have connections, I'll put you through. And then left school with a job immediately into the industry.
Not many people can do that.
No, but those are the stories you hear, and just know that those are the chance.
Yeah, luck has to line up with opportunity and skill and people. It's such a Venn diagram of things. And I want to really make an emphasis on this. Be gentle with yourself.
Yes.
It sucks so bad, especially since you've poured years. If you have gone to art school, you have poured literally 4 years of your life into honing your craft, and then in hopes of getting a job and being able to do this for your living, for your this was your plan, this is what you want to do. But be gentle with yourself. It is hard at the beginning, and you have to have some tough toenails to kick through the doors.
Yeah.
With a smile.
Yeah. Don't exude all of your energy. It'll be a lot. It is really taxing.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
Do what you can, and don't be mad when you have to take a break. Because you need to take care of yourself first.
Yeah, and even just getting a job that allows you to pay the bills but doesn't take any of your creative energy, so that you can have the peace of mind.
You hate to hear it.
Yeah, you literally
I hate to hear it.
No, it's awful. It's really awful.
Yeah, it'll feel, in my situation, because that's where I am currently, there's a sense where it feels like you're letting yourself down because you're like, I did all of this work to get into the industry. That is what I want to do. Why am I not there? Why is nothing working? Like, I'm working some random part-time job just to get through. But at the end of the day, hey, I have a job.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, there's money coming in.
There is something there.
Yeah.
There is something at least somewhat stable. And I can work on my art on the side, and I'm still applying to jobs. And yeah, it is hard, but and it'll take time. But you just kind of gotta be there for yourself.
Yeah. And if you have a support system, lean into them. Like, don't isolate yourself. If you are like, and this just goes like not just looking for art jobs. If you're looking for any kind of job right now, it is hard.
Yeah.
It is so hard. And if you have people who love you, confide in them, let them lift you up. You're not a failure just because the job market is poopy. I promise.
Yeah, no. Everyone, at least for right now, everyone is struggling. Like, it is.
Yeah. The world right now.
Yeah.
But life directly after college for me, I was determined to immediately move into an apartment and start my life. And so I got a food service job that paid well, but I had a little breakdown, and kind of like what we were talking about with feeling like, oh, I put all this work into going into school and it's not working. I'm not getting the jobs that I want. So I quit 4 shifts in. And I'm just laying that out there because I'm here to be authentic. That is what happened. And luckily, Peyton was working a job making Halloween animatronics. So I got an in with that.
Gotta know somebody.
Yeah.
On the inside.
Yeah, on the inside. And did that for a summer. And that was grueling. First full-time gig for me. And it was not, like, there was no AC. It was fun, like, fabrication work, but the environment was so strange. Yeah. As one would expect with, like, making Halloween animatronics, but...
Yeah, in a random warehouse?
In a random warehouse.
It was legit, I promise.
Yeah.
It didn't always look like that.
Yeah,
It was constant, like, physical labor, too. Like, in the heat, just lifting heavy stuff, needing, like, 2 other people to help you lift heavy stuff because even they couldn't do it. And it was, like, when I got hired, only one other girl was there. And then by the mid part of our time there, I think it was only, like, 5 girls were there, including us. Yeah,
out of, like, the maybe 30, 25 employees.
Yeah.
So, like, there's definitely that to contend with.
Yeah.
That ratio.
They were all pretty wonderful, but it was just, like, it was a hard job.
Yeah, I got home, I would shower, I would scrub the paint and primer and foam and latex off of me, and chemicals. I would go to bed. Like, I didn't have much of a social life with this job. I was tired.
Yeah. And it makes for a pretty cool, pretty niche portfolio. And, like, cool stories to tell for sure.
Absolutely.
But doing that forever. And found out some health things later, and that's just kind of the falling off. Like, great experience. I would like to live for the, like, last extra 10 years of my life that I'm supposed to have. That this job might take from me.
Yeah, not breathing in all those chemicals all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I decided to leave. I'd, like, come to a decision, like, a few weeks prior, but then one day I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so I put in my resignation, and then I had a month of looking for another job, and I did some freelance stuff, but then I found a production design job where I was helping build wrestling gear. So both of these things are so not what I expected to go into. Like, horror and wrestling are probably like, they're not
things on your
no, seriously, like they're not the antithesis of who I am, but it kind of it's like so opposite.
Yeah.
But I was able to pull things that I really loved from both of those things. So, yeah, do you want to talk about Scare Factory anymore, or
no?
No.
I mean, I guess. It was really cool going into I think it was the first like actual art job I had. I think to this point it's still the only true art job I've had. Because I did work at like the art museum for a bit, but I wasn't like making stuff necessarily. So it was cool to finally be in that kind of environment where you were just kind of creating the whole day. It wasn't a lot of, well, this is an expectation that I had with jobs in the art industry that I'm very quickly learning is not the case. Unless you are a higher up in the art industry, or if you are only doing freelance, you do not have as much creative liberty as you would want.
Yes.
It is, you are given a project, you are working, for the most part, you're usually working on a portion of said project, following the leads of someone above you. Like the fabrication job was great because they'd be like, okay, you're painting a demon skull head. Here's the example. That's all I'm going to tell you. The colors you see are not the colors that we have in the back. Go make them. We're not going to tell you how. But like, be done with it in a bit and show me, and then we'll check it off and you'll go on to the next thing. Which was like the most creative liberty I had that no, the most creative liberty I had that job was I got to paint a skeleton clown, and I could do whatever I wanted with the makeup.
That was fun.
That was the most I had, though. The rest was kind of just like the muscle memory of, okay, I'm painting these bones over and over. I'm attaching these pieces over and over. And I thought going into the job, oh, I get to design things. That's usually not the case.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
But I mean, it was a good experience to kind of figure out, when you go into art, this might be what it looks like until you get to that point where you're in charge. But yeah, for the most part, it is assisting.
Yeah, you're making other people's ideas come to life because you know how to.
Yep.
That's kind of what the entry-level jobs are, which I didn't realize. So that's a very good point to make. So I guess I need to backtrack a little bit with the production design job. So before I got that, I was contemplating getting a master's because it feels like every time that someone gets a bachelor's degree and doesn't know what to do next, contemplates a master's. Because it just feels like the natural progression. You've been in school your whole life.
It's secure.
Yeah, you know what's expected of you.
Yep.
You know how to succeed. I think that's what I wanted to feel again. I wanted to feel like I knew how to get the A. I knew how to get the professor to like vibe with me. Like I knew how to build that relationship in an academic setting, but I was floundering in a professional setting. So I wanted that security again. And I really contemplated it. But I decided against it just because the school that I got like the opportunity for just wasn't the right fit for me. And just like upon further research, and I ended up getting this production design job, which was so helpful in honing my illustrator skills. This was a true 8 to 5 sitting at an office, desk chair, but still creative job. And I can say I was just as tired at the end of that day than when I was doing fabrication work. It was just a different kind of tired. And yeah, I learned so much, and being part of that cycle of work, like kind of what you were talking about, how you're bringing other people's ideas to life starting out. That was really cool to see, to be part of that. But it was a very repetitive process. Mm-hmm. And I got a little tired. Yeah. I feel like I've emphasized how sleepy I've been, but it's
very sleepy.
That, like, this transitionary period in my life was filled with a lot of really cool opportunities, but it was also filled with a lot of sadness and confusion and frustration and anger. Mm-hmm. Even, like, too many emotions to really articulate.
It's like all of them.
It's all of them, because you're really stepping out on your own two legs for the first time. And at this point, I was still living with my parents. They were very loving and kind and supporting of me in that way. And I'm very, very grateful that I had that home to come back to. But it was hard because I had my independence at school. I didn't have to tell anybody where I was going, what I was doing, what I was working on, and I missed that. Mm-hmm. So I think that was attributing to my feeling of, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I should be doing more. Yeah. Even though, like, on paper I was doing fine, but mentally I was like, ow.
Yeah. The fulfillment wasn't there.
Exactly. Am I glad I chose that over a master's? Yes. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, the whole master's thing. I've talked with my partner's mom, also graduated from our school, and we were talking about, like, did she ever contemplate getting a master's, or was I considering a master's? Just kind of having that conversation of what would we do if we went into the master's program.
Right.
And I was talking with somebody recently, and this might not be the same for all schools, but at least for our school, and this is word of mouth, but this might be true, is they have kind of done away with the specification of, I want to get my master's in this medium.
Oh, really?
Yes. From what I've heard, it is more of, you have to go back and do core studies again. They want you to be well-rounded again in a master's mindset.
Really?
Which I don't necessarily agree with, because you spent the 4 years in school, you did your core studies, mm-hmm. you took that time to figure out what you wanted to do. For the most part, not everybody, but
yeah.
So, like, for that master's program, at least, they've changed it now to where it is not just, I'm doing this medium, I want to be an oil painter, I want to take this time to be graded professionally before I go out and then have my master's degree. Mm-hmm. And which it just doesn't, and I don't know if that's the change that other schools are making.
I don't think so.
I don't either, but
that's
granted,
weird.
I hadn't heard this before.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like, technically,
that feels strange.
Yeah, technically, for your master's degree, it's like you're picking a specific, like, medium or mm-hmm. profession, or basically, like, you know what you're doing, you're picking this, you are jumping into it, you're getting help along the way. Mm-hmm. But there is a thing to be said for, your portfolio speaks more than your degree.
Yes, it does, because a lot of people come out with the same degree. Yep. I mean, everybody comes out with the same degree, and it's what you walk out of the door mm-hmm. with that matters more, which I wish I would have taken into account and focused more on making things for my portfolio instead of making things for a better grade.
Yep.
You know? Because, like, I got whatever, the summa cum laude, whatever, but...
Which doesn't really mean anything.
Exactly. I busted my butt, and it doesn't mean anything. Like, I was so stressed.
Some job applications are like, what was your GPA when you graduated college? And I'm like, you're not looking at this.
No.
There's no way you are picking me based on my GPA. You are picking an artist. You're looking at their artwork.
I wish I would have known that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so focus more if you take away anything from this episode,
Yes.
focus more on developing your portfolio and your skills rather than fighting for your life for a grade.
Mm-hmm.
Because
you're gonna get the degree. Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just croaked. My coffee fought back. I'm so sorry. But like, you're gonna get the degree as long as you're not throwing hands and you're doing the prompt and like you're finishing the project with the specs that you need. Like, you're gonna get those professors that are going to be very specific, and you kind of have to choose your battles. But for the most part, you're getting the degree. Like, now you need to focus on you.
Yeah, focusing on you. That's good. That's good. It's like, don't, like, yes, make stuff that you think is going to be marketable, but the stuff in your portfolio is the stuff that people are going to hire you for. Yeah. So don't make stuff that you do not like, because you will get hired for the stuff you do not like, and you're not going to hate it.
Yeah. Or you're going to not want to put any of it in your portfolio, and you're going to graduate with an empty portfolio that now you have to spend your exhausted time, because let's talk about it. Graduating, once you graduate, once you walk across the stage and you get your degree and you sit down and you go home, you realize, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I've been creating nonstop for 4 years, and it hasn't all been exactly what I wanted. So it's varying levels of like energy.
Yeah.
But like, oh my gosh, like, so don't graduate with an empty portfolio or stuff that you're not happy with, because you're gonna be tired when you're graduating. You're not gonna, this doesn't go for everybody, you're probably not gonna have the energy to then build that portfolio in as fast a time as you think you can.
Yeah, it's gonna take months, and that's like the low estimate.
Like, I am still trying to make a portfolio that I love, and well, I'm making like 7 different portfolios.
That's why.
Yeah, well, they're specialized.
I'm just teasing.
But it's a lot of energy, because you've been creating for so long, and now you're like, oh, now I gotta create more, like, which is crazy to say when you want to be an artist, but that's what it feels like. You're like, oh, I have to pick up a pencil.
Well, you have to, it's an entirely a mindset shift, because you're no longer doing it for the academic validation, for the like performance in front of your peers. It's not something that is going to be displayed and critiqued in a classroom anymore. So you don't get that instant like, oh, that I did a good job. Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed that.
I did too.
Part. It helped. It gave me, I don't want to say it sustained me, but it definitely helped.
It gave the energy.
Yeah, to be like, oh, so I am going in the right direction. Oh, so I am doing a good job. I can keep doing this. So you have to be that own voice in your head for a little while, unless you have built a community for yourself that carries through graduation. If you have, please keep your artist friends after school. You need them. You need them so bad. That can be your community. That can be your like sounding board and critique and all the stuff that have become so familiar in school.
Yep.
But like, you're not doing it for anybody else anymore. You have to do it entirely for yourself now.
Yeah.
Which was hard.
Even when you're applying for jobs, they're not going to respond with the detailed, I like this for this reason, or I don't like this for this reason. It's going to be either, let's do an interview, or unfortunately, you have not gotten this job. We are moving on to other candidates.
Move forward with a different candidate.
Yeah. Even like posting to social media.
Yeah.
You're going to find that like, while that is the form of like getting people's feedback nowadays, that's not like in your immediate circle, going from like, I thought, oh, if I post stuff to like my Instagram, like I'm going to get that feedback from friends or other people. It's going to be similar to school, just like the passerby, like, hey, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It's, unless you have like a big following, people are not really like always there to be like, yes, I love this. You get a like and then it moves on, which is no hate to any of your followers.
No, not at all.
I don't usually comment on people's things either because I'm just like swipe, because I have brain rot and I can't look at things for more than like 6 seconds.
Which, I mean, this is a whole other conversation. It's like social media and the commodification of creation, but
I think we have a whole episode for it.
We do.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, y'all.
Yeah.
If you want to
so
dish about it, if you want to hear our rage and confusion and heartbreak, stay tuned.
There's so much of it.
There's so much, dude. But anywho.
Yeah. What time are we at?
Okay. So
we could talk a little bit more about our jobs, or we could just go straight into our life and art updates. What would you like to do? Given our time,
I think we could talk about our jobs a little bit and then do a separate life and art updates.
Yeah, sure.
So
we talked about the fabrication job,
mm-hmm.
which we both had at the same time, and you talked about your wrestling
production design.
Yes.
Yeah. And then for a few months, I was doing freelance stuff. I designed a book and book cover, and I worked on beefing up my portfolio, and I was applying to jobs, and it was demoralizing. Like those few months in between the production job and the job I have now, I was like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Radio silence.
Yeah, it was literally radio silence. And I was still working and creating through that, but it was such a sporadic income, and I needed that stability. So I changed my resume like 30,000 times, but I ended up, I don't know how I forgot about this, but the first job I ever had in college was as the photographer for the Honors Bugle.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, that was literally my first job. I love photography. Why am I not applying for photography jobs? So I pivoted and I applied for a product photography position for an e-commerce company. And after a long interview process, I got it, and I love it. It's my current job. It's so nice. And like, I graduated with an illustration degree, and now I do photography. Like, it's...
You don't have to stick to what your degree is. You have an art degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
you gotta pivot.
Yes. Like a BFA, like, if you're getting a BFA, it is not like you have a BFA in illustration. You have a BFA with a concentration in whatever that major is. That's what it says on your resume.
Yes.
Like, not your resume, your degree. Like, if you just, when you're applying for jobs, they don't say, like, give me the, like, you're picking what your degree is. It just says BFA.
Mm-hmm.
You could do whatever you want.
Yeah. Because you're given the core principles of most mediums with an art degree, at least our school. Yeah. It, like, we had a sampling. So, like, I was taking pictures, I was loving photography throughout, but it was just always on the back burner because I love doodling too. So
you can do all of it.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do all of it. So right now I'm taking pictures for my day job, and I am drawing and designing things in the evenings, and I have energy to do that now. So I have a really good balance. But like, it took a couple years for me to get to a place that I am like happy with. So, and like, I'm being fully transparent about that. Like, I didn't hit the ground running after graduation. Like, most people don't. Like, I post the positive stuff on social media because I don't like being emotional in public. But I'm being vulnerable here.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of people just post the positive stuff. So keep that in mind too. Just a side note, asterisks, that pivot if you need to. That's my...
Sometimes it's good too. I mean, like, it's kind of similar, at least like with my art process.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm drawing something and I'm like, this just isn't feeling right, it's just not working,
Mm-hmm.
I scrap it, I try again, and it usually works out better the second time anyways.
Yeah. Or like drawing things right next to each other, like
Yes.
iterations of the same subject.
Until you can get it right.
Yeah, and not
Until it
erasing.
feels.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was like
It was mind-blowing.
huge pivot. I will try to remember to link the video in the description because this changed the way I look at art entirely. This artist that got hired by whoever does Arcane. I don't remember.
Ooh.
Yes, he was an Arcane character designer. They were interviewing him, and he showed his sketchbook, and they were like, you know, how are you so good at drawing people? Because that's like all he would draw. And he had drawings of people where he kept drawing the same shoe next to the figure like 3 times until it looked how he wanted. And he didn't like the hand on this one person, so he drew it 2 more times until he liked how it looked. Because erasing it just tells yourself, no, you messed up.
Yeah.
You didn't mess up. You just, like, little things were a little off. Let's just fix those. Because then you have a reference of, this doesn't look right. Now I know what to fix.
Yeah, it trains your brain, your eye, and
Muscle
your hand
memory.
all at the same time.
Muscle memory. Like, it makes you not ashamed of your sketchbook either. Because I know I was.
We don't want to look through mine.
No.
No.
But if you can show, like, no, I'm working on making this kind of crusty looking picture better, then it shows people looking at it like, oh, you are progressing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And know how to iterate and all that stuff.
I will link that video because it makes me so happy inside.
Just like little things like that like are so helpful that
it was a random video that came up on my YouTube and I was like, oh, I like this guy's work. Let me just watch it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm changed. I hear the trumpets like, oh my god, it's crazy. It's so good. Anywho, yeah, our life and art updates, as of right now, kind of in the lull from the last episodes. We were doing like a lot of big stuff, and now it's kind of that slow period. I'm currently just working on making things that I like.
Yeah. Here's to that.
Yeah, I recently have had. It's an interesting issue to have. I don't think I've had this very often, where I have an insane amount of motivation to make stuff.
Ooh.
Like, I am like gnawing at the edge of my seat, just like, I want to make things right now. And then I sit down to make things, and I'm like, don't know what to do. I scroll through Pinterest. I look at my old art. I look at my notes. I look at my list of things I want to make for portfolio stuff. And I'm like, I have the want to create. I have the energy to create. But then when I have to sit down and come up with an idea, the energy dissipates.
Oh.
And it's wild because I don't know how to function with this. It's weird. But I think like yesterday I was at the studio and I was just like, I have had an idea for like a droid design for like a Star Wars alternate universe or whatever. So I just drew it and I was like, stream of conscious onto the page for the first time in forever. And it's just like, cool.
Hey!
That's what I did. And then I went home. So that's my current art.
That's a win.
It's, yeah. I've been too stuck in the mindset of like, I need to make stuff for Franklinton Fridays. I need to have stuff made. And that's such a bad pocket to get yourself stuck in.
Yeah.
Of like, I need to make to sell. Try to avoid that as much as possible. Unless it helps you.
Yeah, unless like that motivation is helpful, then heck yeah.
Yeah.
Get that coin and make stuff you like. That's the ideal.
Yes.
Finding that Venn diagram of making stuff that fulfills you and then also is sellable.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And whenever you find that.
Yes.
But
it's
hard.
Yeah. I'm typically like, oh, I need to find stuff or I need to make stuff to sell. And then I look back at my old artwork that I love and I'm like, dude, I could just use this.
Yeah.
Like those things tend to have more heart in them at least in my case, than the stuff that I'm like, I need to make stuff that I can produce
and
get money for.
Yeah, because like when like someone at a market buys something from a local artist, it's because they're buying it because they want to support you and what you who you are, what you make, what you do. So like keeping that as genuine as possible, I've found is helpful.
Yeah. I feel like people notice it too.
Yeah. I can tell. I don't know. Other people can tell. But there's definitely a difference in what I've made to sell and what I have made because I needed to, because I wanted to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, speaking of making things you need to, I started a big old painting, the big old boy. And it's the colors. It's our colors. Art School Dissections colors.
Oh, yeah. If you are not with us on YouTube or any video platforms, and you haven't looked at our past videos, we have been slowly adding on to our studio. Not slowly, actually. It's been kind of rapid, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. Metamorphosis.
So, not to be like, go back and watch all of our stuff, but
you can if you want to.
You can see the progression of behind us right now. We have finished our painting for the wall. Maybe like a coat of paint more, but like the design is done. It is beautiful. We have gotten new chairs. Mine was in the last episode, but Maddie got a new one.
Thank you, Ashley.
It's a beautiful chair. We've got a lot of other equipment for the studio that you just can't see, but and we're trying out new mics. So if you notice a different sound, that is because we are trying out different mics. To see what works best for the space. So if you're not on a visual platform, that's kind of what you would be able to see. If you are watching, do you think it looks nice?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
These are our updates.
Like, really hard on it.
Yeah.
It's so
we're going to be posting a video of like before and after and all that on socials.
Yes.
So if you're not on our socials,
you should be.
Follow us.
You should be. Hey. There's other stuff in the studio that we're going to show off that you can't see because it's behind the camera.
Yeah. So behind the scenes.
It's more of these colors. If you like these colors, you should look. Even if you don't like them, you should still look. It's really nice.
Yeah. But they're so fun to paint with.
They really are. It's just like they're pleasing to the eyes. They're kind of yummy.
They are.
I keep looking over at the door. That's where our door is. It's these colors, but bigger and brighter.
Brighter and bolder
and the door is
yummier.
completely pink. The whole
As
door.
It should be.
It's like Barbie pink. It's so nice. So we'll be showing that off later. You should watch us.
It's a lot of fun. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been in the studio quite a bit, working on painting and editing some product photography of my own. Not just my day job, but for the tarot deck that I made, that I've mentioned quite a bit, and I will continue to mention because it took months, and it
looks really good.
Yeah. So like my first really like long-term freelance project. I'm so proud of it.
I think it shows too.
So proud of it.
Like your heart was in it.
Thank you.
It's like very, very apparent how much you actually love this.
Oh, that makes me happy. So if you like maximalism, if you like bright colors, if you
kind of like these colors.
Yeah, seriously.
Very close.
Yeah. If you want to find clarity in chaos, check out my tarot deck.
As of the current date, which is April 26th, 2024, it is available for pre-order.
Yes, it is. And there's going to be some really juicy photos posted soon. Yes. So it'll probably already be posted by the time this is posted.
Yeah, whenever we actually edit stuff and get it out there.
Yeah. But we're working on it. We're doing it.
We're figuring stuff out. We've never done this before.
Yeah. But like a lot of our time and energy has gone into creating this. And like it's been amazing.
It really
honestly.
Has. We've put in so many hours into this place and this production, and I really hope that as we continue, it shows. Just like, being able to watch us progress, I think is pretty beautiful. To like, be able to go back to the first episode and then continue and be like, whoa, like it actually came together. I mean, we were sitting on stools in the first episode.
It's true.
And we were trying out the mic in the space for the first time, and
she was echoey. But...
It is a bit. The first and second episode are gonna be a bit interesting with the audio, but we hope you bear with us, because it'll get better.
Mm-hmm.
We've never done a podcast before.
Yeah,
I've never edited audio or videos before. Like,
yeah. But I think that is a testament to, like, the friendships that you can create in art school, along with, like, the general education that you get in art school. Like, you can get all of this in a regular school or, like, traditional school, or not even going to college at all. But, like, we were able to create something from our experiences and our friendship. And it's, like, make stuff with people that you love. Like, it brings so much joy and like a genuineness to what you're making. Like, highly recommend. It's been really uplifting for me the past few months, because life is hard after graduation, like we've said, like we've mentioned. So, like, this project has been chef's kiss.
It has been. We've, like, worked so hard on it. Like, we've been on it. When we sit down to do it, we do it.
It's like 5 hours pass and we look up for air. I'm like, oh,
I forgot we were doing this. Like, what? That's pretty amazing.
It is. I'm proud of us.
I am too.
So, in summation, do cool stuff with your friends. You have the power. You have the capability. Just do it.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? Literally nothing besides maybe some bucks.
Yeah, a couple bucks and putting yourself out there, which is scary.
It is.
I didn't post on social media for a while because I didn't like the idea of being perceived.
Yeah.
So, but now, even yesterday, I filmed some.
I saw.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I filmed a few others that I haven't posted yet. But it's more, I don't know, just actually being myself on the internet, which is, like, sounds like a weird thing to overcome, but
it's hard.
It is hard because it does feel like a performance, but I don't really want to perform for anybody. I'm just going to be myself and see what happens. So
I think that's beautiful, and that's how you should do it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think when you perform, you are not yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta just be who you are, and the people that like it will stick around. The people that don't, you don't need them.
That is true. And as someone who has been a little bit of a people pleaser in the past, it's like I kind of had to figure out, do I like this person? Do I like doing this? Do I actually like this, instead of doing it for other people, like doing it for myself? Like, that's been a pretty recent mind shift that I've had. That's been helpful. That's tangential, but I guess that's a life update.
Yeah, it's still. I'm
going to dive into my psyche in these life and art updates.
That's what they're
Surprise!
Here for. I mean, it has life in the word.
That's true.
We're talking about us.
Yeah.
What's going on?
What's going on?
Speaking about us, more into those jobs.
Yeah.
So I have had a little bit of a different job experience than Maddie, in the sense that art hasn't really been a part of my jobs except for the fabrication job, and I worked at the art museum. But I just worked in the studio. It wasn't creating, it was just helping people. So I did that for a while. That's, I think, the longest job I've had. I do have a tendency
Fine.
I do have a tendency to not work places for long, because we were talking about this before we recorded. I tend to attract really bad bosses.
It's so sad.
It's
really sad.
It is very wild. Maybe I'm the problem. Don't know, but
no.
Whatever the case, I tend to get pretty bad bosses. Great coworkers, but that's just how it goes. So I don't stick around places very long. But I was at the museum for like a year and a half, just about. It was only Saturdays, so doesn't really count.
It was part-time.
It was something.
I'm going to say it was part-time.
It was 4 hours a week. but I was also in school.
Mm-hmm.
So like it made sense for the time. Then I had the fabrication job. Then I worked at a cat cafe for 4 months. Great job, boss. Moved on. Then I worked as a bridal stylist, which actually my boss there was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I did like her. She was very kind. But the environment just, it wasn't for me. And it was great at the beginning and progressively kind of showed its colors of like, not like to harp on them at all because I don't want to speak ill, but very like you are a salesman
Mm-hmm.
to these poor brides that
Yeah.
are just trying to think about their big day. And I didn't like that. I was like, I don't want to just be like, buy this dress. You totally want this dress.
Yeah.
When they're like, I don't know. So I was just like, it was great for the moments that I could be genuine with people. That was really, really nice. Just having those moments with people. I love customer work. I like being around people, and just helping provide a good experience. So that was wonderful. But I was just like,
yeah,
not what I needed.
not for you.
That was another 4 months. And I currently work at an elementary school, doing the after school care, which is fun. It is fun.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you.
No, it's okay. I've worked there for almost 8 months now.
Has it really been that
It
long?
really has. Isn't that wild?
That's so weird.
It doesn't feel like it, but at the same time, the exhaustion behind my eyes reminds me of how long it has been.
Oh.
It is a lot of work. Childcare is a lot. It is not what I wanted to do at all. But I tend to go back to it often. Mm-hmm. Like the museum was a lot of kids. I worked at the Lego store a while back, and then my first job was working in a pottery studio for kids.
Mm-hmm.
It tends to happen.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy it. Apparently,
it's what you have experience in.
Apparently, I'm good at it.
Yeah.
That's the thing with my current job. They gave me the hard kids because they're like, you're so good with kids. I'm the only one there that is not in school or has not graduated school going into child development.
And oh my God, I didn't realize that.
Yes. Everybody else is there to be a teacher or to be a counselor or to be like summer school or I'm the only one.
And then you got...
They gave me the hard kids because they said I'm good at it.
Oh my God. This is something I didn't know. If you're really good at your job, you get more work. You get rewarded by being good at your job by getting more work.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what's happening to you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even try to be good at it. It is
not I'm just hard. Naturally...
Well, it literally is just watching them, telling them where to be, when, and how to behave, and just, like, making sure they go home with the correct parents. I mean, there's a lot that also goes on with it, like the behind the scenes. When you're one-on-one with the kids. But, like, I'm alone with 14 6-year-olds for 3 hours. And it is.
That's a lot.
They're always crying. They're always crying about randoms or punching each other. And I'm just like, I can't. So, anyways. Yeah. There's not like a whole lot to say about those jobs in general because they're there to pay the bills. And that's kind of what I'm here to remind you is those jobs are there to pay the bills, even if it's not what you're going into or what you want to do. Like, if it pays the bills and it's not breaking you down a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to break you down a bit because you're going to feel the remorse of, like, I'm not making things and being paid for it. Which is just, like, inevitably what you want when you're going into, like, an art career. Like, I want to be able to make a living off of this. And it feels weird not being able to do that. But I mean, like, when I graduated, which is almost a year ago now, I have applied to I think at this point I've kind of slowed down, an average of 5 to 10 jobs every week. So I think at this point I have over 200 applications that I have submitted at the least.
Yeah, that's probably the low end.
Yeah. I mean, there were some days where, like, for a full week straight, it was 5 applications a day.
Wow.
Like, I would go to work, I'd come home, I'd apply for, like, 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then repeat it.
It becomes, like, job searching becomes a job in itself.
It does. Tailoring your resume, tailoring your portfolio, tailoring your cover letter.
To every job,
over and over. Even if you give them your resume, you still gotta type it all in. Like,
hate that.
Ridiculous.
Hate that.
But I mean, and I also want to remind you, like, 2 of my jobs, they were only 4 months long. It's because the environment became something that I could not be with.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied for jobs. As soon as I found that other random job that paid the bills, I quit the one I had, went on to the next.
Yes.
Like, don't kick yourself for job hopping.
Oh, no, don't. You got to do what's best for you, especially in this economy.
Honestly. Like, if you can find another job, go.
Yeah.
Because they usually start off really good.
Yeah, it's like the 3-month period.
Yes.
Where you fully understand everything that you got yourself into.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you can make it past 3 months, this job is probably going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Or for those jobs, I got to 3 months and I was like, instead of applying for jobs. I mean, I was applying to art jobs through all of these jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I haven't stopped applying for those big art jobs since I graduated, through all of the jobs that I've had. Because once I get those, I'm gone.
Yes.
Like, yeah, you don't have me anymore. Once I have the art job, I'm out of the customer service and retail and part-time. Like, please. But it is a lot of work. Job searching sucks. I know a lot of friends that I've had or made through jobs that haven't been great, and asking, like, oh, are you applying for jobs? And they're like, I don't have the energy. I'm like,
yeah. A few of my friends are in that boat. Mm-hmm. And
they're like, I'd rather be at this job that I hate, that makes me cry in my car every day, than apply for jobs.
Mm-hmm. I think I got to that point with, which job was it? It was kind of both. It was kind of both the fabrication and the design job. There were just aspects that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
And, but when I got home, like, I mentioned that I was tired. Like, I didn't do anything, like, after work. Yeah. If I did more than shower, eat dinner, and go to sleep, like, that was a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was just emotionally and physically exhausted. So it's not as simple as, just apply on your time off. Like, well, I would.
Time off?
Yeah, like.
Anyways, it was kind of an abrupt cut to the last sound clip we had, because we didn't realize that the camera said, bye-bye, I haven't been recording for a while. So you'll see you'll see us and our little sprites talking for us because the camera turned off.
Sprites. I love that.
Guys.
We have sprites.
And if you're just listening audio, you won't really know that happened.
Yeah.
But we did cut the audio abruptly because we realized we went way over our time anyways.
It's gonna happen a bit, I think.
So it's fine. If there's random cuts, that's usually what it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
But to kind of close out the episode, I'll just talk about my minimal freelance stuff. We have done multiple art markets together, which will be a whole episode in itself, so we're not gonna divulge into that now. But I have had, like, one commission come out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone got one of my prints and my business card, and then emailed me, like, a week after and was like, hey, I would like to commission you to make, like, a mirroring partner to this print. It was a Star Wars print, so it's like, I want the dark side version of the light side print I got. That was, like, that's I think the only commission I've got from a person I didn't know that found me or reached out to me based on like market experience or like just my business card.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a scam for a second. And it was like, wait, no, I remember this person. So that was cool. And then I have an account on Fiverr, which is like a freelance site. It's free to use. They do take a portion of what you make from your, they're called gigs. And I've gotten a singular tattoo commission from that, and then friends and family. So
yeah.
And then I did this was free, but I talked about this, I think, in the last episode, one of them. I did a magazine entry for one of my friends' magazines.
Yeah.
Which is available. I will try to remember to tag it below. It's available for order from his website. It's called Horde Magazine.
It's cool.
It's sick. I got my participants copy, and it's so freaking awesome. All the people in it are amazing. It has all their socials in it. Super cool. But yeah, that's the majority of that is my freelance experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a lot, and it's probably mostly going to be people that are already in your circle.
Well, the coffee thing.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that because it went nowhere and I messed up on it.
But you still got paid for it, even though
I did.
They canceled the project.
I lowballed it way too far down.
Mm-hmm.
What I should have gotten paid. And because I worked in a style that I do not use, and I thought this will be easy. It was not. I worked 5 hours more on it than I anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not charge for that because I gave the price up front, which I shouldn't have done. So if you're doing freelance, learn about contracts, learn whether or not you want to do what do you call it? You want to work by hour or you want to work by project, which you can change depending on what you're doing.
Depending on what the client and project is.
Yeah.
And we are still learning this stuff, but we will give advice as we find it, as we learn it ourselves, either the hard way or through other people's experiences.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you're going to learn the hard way, even when you have a lot of input and advice already at your disposal. You're still going to be like, no, this is fine. And it won't be. And you'll realize after the fact,
figure it out.
I basically worked for free.
Yeah.
And for zero exposure. So, yeah. It's because you're going to want to take all those freelance jobs when you get them because they're art. And
you're getting paid to make stuff.
Yeah. Just make sure you're getting paid what you deserve.
Yeah. Which we can talk about at a later date.
I think we have a whole episode on it.
We do.
So
stay tuned.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have for this.
For today, yeah.
Most of the things we talked about have later episodes that have more in-depth input. These past 3 episodes have been more to give the broad overview, just as an introduction to us and to our experience, and kind of like a foundation for now we're going to dive into these topics.
Yeah.
So have whole episodes based around markets and freelance and specific mediums and all of that. Yeah. So from here on out,
lots to come.
Yeah.
We're dissecting the details of art and life. Oh my god.
It's almost like we did that on purpose.
Oh my god. Love that for us.
I love that. We're so good at this.
We're learning. We're learning as we go. Come learn with us.
Yeah, come learn with us.
Because that's what this is about. It's about learning about life and learning after school, and it's just about advice and community and
having 2 little voices in your ear telling you, hey, you're not alone.
Yeah, it'll be okay. It's rough out there, but there are people that know what you're doing, know what you're going through, and
you just need some people to listen to make you feel like you got some people out there. We're here, and if you need advice, we're here, and you want to just hear about our mistakes, come laugh at us.
Yeah, hear us yap, hear us giggle.
We yap.
We do indeed.
We giggle a lot. So if you like that, we got that. We got plenty. We have so much in stock.
Anyways. So anywho, Thank you for operating with us.
This was Art School Dissections. I am Peyton Hunt.
And I'm Maddie Gabhart.
Take care of your guts.
And make something cool.
Or bad.
Bye.